wasn't gonna be Greek. I thought fraternities and sororities were stupid. I am from Long Island, New York. I am the daughter of 2 doctors. I don't need to buy friends. I am the friend. So going to college, Greek life was not a part of it. I was going to play Division I volleyball at the University of Delaware until I tore my ACL, and then I had to play intramurals with the commoners. Ugh. My roommate said, why don't you come to Meet the Greeks? I'm like, Meet the Greeks, what is that? What is this? She's like, it's at an event and you get to meet Greeks. I'm like, that sounds riveting. She's like, well, come. I heard that they were going to have chicken wings. Hold up now. Like every freshman knows, mama loves some chicken wings. I told her I will escort you to said event simply for their poultry, and that is it. And I went to meet the Greeks, and people started speaking on stage, and I realized maybe there was something to this Greek thing. And then it happened. This woman got in front of the room and spoke. She was everything I wanted to be in 4 years. And I remember thinking, whatever leadership crack cocaine she's on, Lord, I need it. And she said, I'm the president of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I'm like, yes, whatever that is, sign me up. I quickly realized that I couldn't join my first year, so I did what a lot of you did when there's deferred recruitment. I stalked her for a year. And every time I saw her on campus, I was like, hello, Antoinette, hello. I came to your chapter's program. It was wonderful on prematurity awareness. It was great. I did not wear your sorority colors. I wore neutral colors. I have this 5-pound bag of gummy bears. They're all blue. I thought you might enjoy that. 5 pounds for the 5 founders of your sorority. And then finally, in the fall of 2000, my opportunity to join this sorority came. But the year leading up to it, my friends kept whispering in my ear saying, hey, Michelle, you know this chapter particularly, they're a little hazerific. I'm like, no, they're wonderful people. They're like, no. They will put you in a tree and push you out just to see if you can fly. Like doves, which is their mascot. So I wasn't listening to what they were saying, and finally, a chance encounter in the fall of 2000 came, and they called me, and they're like, hello, can we talk to Michelle? This is Michelle, yes, this is I. They're like, it is us, the Zetas. I'm like, it is. Hello. They're like, we heard you wanted to be down. I'm like, I do want to be down. Down, all around, upside down, sign me up. They're like, we have some questions. Come downstairs, we want to ask you some questions. I'm like, well, I can't come right down now because I'm watching TV and I'm wearing a muumuu, so give me 20 minutes. They're like, no, we'll see you now. And I'm like, I'm gonna need 20 minutes to get changed. They're like, no, we will see you now. 10, 9, 8, click. I'm like, damn, these women are pushy. I like it. I got dressed, I went downstairs, they shoved me in a room, and for several hours, they asked me questions that made absolutely no sense. And finally, he said, Michelle, what would you do if we punched you in the face? Let us review. I am from New York. I don't play like that. But I had drank the Kool-Aid and I wanted in so bad. So I said I wouldn't like it, but if that's what I had to do to be in your sorority, so be it. And they said, well, we're not gonna punch you in the face. At that point, I knew I probably messed up and these women were probably insane. And I started down a path that they like to call pledging, but it was hazing. And for 9 weeks, 5 days, 1 hour, and 15 minutes, I was hazed into this organization. Now, this national organization does not condone hazing at all, but particularly at this time, our chapter felt that this was the only way you became a member. It was physically, emotionally, and painfully torturing. It was a horrible experience. It is not the best time of my life that I wish to do again, ever. It was horrible. I started off with 2 other women in my pledge class. By the end, it was just me. The other 2 women had the smarts to be like, this is stupid, we don't need this, and left. And I remember saying to them, where are you going? We're going to be sisters. And they're like, this is not what it means. I'm like, but it is, that's what they said. And I remember the night I became a member of initiation. I was crying, not because I was joyful, I was crying because it was over. And I remember looking around the room saying, I hate you, you're cool, and I hate you. And for weeks, I did not speak to these women. And when I did actually muster up the courage to speak to them and push my anger aside, I had to be drunk, like super inebriated. That's actually a picture of me, super inebriated. You can tell by the teeth. And that was the experience in the organization. I hadn't learned any really good information. I learned how to be subservient and on call. I learned stupid little facts that nobody cares about and doesn't help you run your organization, but they kept saying, this is how you get respect in our organization, and this makes you just like us. And for 2 years, no one joined our chapter. What would happen if for 2 years, no one joined your organization? You would die. You would fizzle out, people would graduate, your organization will cease to exist. And that almost happened. But we didn't really seem to care. And while other people were carrying on with being great chapters, our organization was content that, we were tough and people just couldn't make it. And we found other ways to entertain ourselves, because the reality is, if you can't bring people into your organization, just haze people in other organizations. And that's exactly what I did. That is me, friends. Hazing would-be fraternity men in somebody's basement. Yeah, because if you can't bring in people into your own sorority, just haze fraternity men in some other organization. There are several things wrong with this picture. One, why do I look like a deranged Muppet? 2, why did I leave the house without putting on a bra? You think it's gonna be a good idea, but it's never really a good idea. And 3, no one should be this happy to torture other people. And there I am, hanging out. I think they're wearing ranch dressing. Crazy, right? Here's something even crazier. I won Sorority Woman of the year this picture was taken. Because hazing is that thing that we pretend doesn't happen and we live the model life by day, but when people aren't looking, behind closed doors, at night, in group me's, in group texts, maybe even WhatsApp, we say and do things and demand things from people who are trying to belong to our organization. And it's ugly, and it's vile. I'm not that hazing speaker who's going to stand in front of me and be like, don't haze people, it hurts feeling. No, I was that person. Been there, done that, have the PowerPoint about it. I recognize that it's not only us. It's not only us. Yes, fraternities and sororities get the body slam of being hazers out in society, but recent studies will show that varsity athletics is right there with us. Club sports, performing organizations like marching bands. We are all in this together, but if Greeks are the ones who say that we are the leaders on campus, then everyone is following our lead. So if this is the stuff that we're doing, why wouldn't others join in? Not all is lost, but it could be very, very soon if we don't do something about it. Here are the top 6 myths that I know of out here about fraternities and sororities and hazing. Let's try to debunk some of them, shall we? Number 1, Michelle, we haze because we need people to be loyal. We need people to be loyal to this. Some of you are messed up right now because you're like, I thought she was talking about hazing. Why is there peanut butter on the screen? Because I love peanut butter. It is delicious. It is brown. It is creamy. It is sweet. Kind of reminds me of myself. I have been loyal to the same brand of peanut butter for the last 17 years, reduced fat Jif. I will not eat Skippy. I will not eat Peter Pan. I will not eat generic. I'm from New York. It must be reduced fat Jif. And every time I take off that red lid and I put my spoon inside and I put that spoon in my mouth, I'm like, delicious, peanut butter. And whatever I was dealing with that week immediately goes away. That is loyalty. Have you ever made someone feel that way? When was the last time you asked potential new members of your organization, what does our group have to do, be, or say for you to be loyal to us for a lifetime? Because what I know about 18 to 22-year-olds, you will front and lie to get what you want. And you will fake be loyal so you can get letters and then say, I'm good, I'm done, right? We have plenty of people in our organization like that. Some of you have been with your significant others for a very long time, and it's Facebook official, and y'all ain't loyal. You know loyalty comes over a very long period of time, of consistency, of being who you say you are, of always treating people the same way, and never deviating from that formula. Hazing does not allow people to be loyal because you literally flip the script on people from start to finish. If you want people to be loyal to your organization, ask them, what do we need to do for your loyalty? Ask them, what things in your life are you loyal to? And then aspire to be that. Number 2, hazing eliminates bad apples. Michelle, we can't just have random scallywags in our organization. We can't just have these randoms. So we have to eliminate the bad apples. The only way to do that is to haze them. Hello? Totally makes sense, right? How do you sort out the people who just really shouldn't be here and they're only here for the letters? Because people never get into our organization just for the letters, right? We would never. Wait a minute. Yeah. But hazing's a really good way to eliminate that, right? We'll just torture people. We'll just make them our personal sorority and fraternity slaves, and let's see who makes it to the end, and there is what we'll have. When I told you I started with 2 other women. One of them is a neuroscientist. The other one is a lawyer. My sorority missed out on 2 amazing women because we didn't know how to act right. Hazing does not eliminate the bad apples. It is a petri dish for the bad apples. We love this crap. It becomes a pissing match between you and them. I remember when they were like, oh, Michelle, she thinks she's a smart one. Michelle, go in the kitchen and get us a fork full of water. I'm like, word? Okay. I went into the kitchen, I got a fork, I put an ice cube on it. I'm like, what you got? They're like, oh, okay. They threw a magazine at me. They're like, Michelle, circle all the M's in this magazine in 20 seconds. I threw the magazine on the floor, and I walked a circle around it. I'm like, is that all you got? That was not a good night. It was a long night after that, but they didn't eliminate me. I was just thinking about ways where I could torture the next group of people who would come into it. You keep bad people in when you do bad things. Those 2 women left because that chapter was not about great things, enhancing women, living their values on a daily basis. We eliminated the best of what our sorority could have been and kept the people in it who are committed to keeping hazing practices alive and well. What did we really eliminate in the end? Number three, our founders hazed. Yes, the founders, the brilliant founders hazed. We must live what the founders lived. When people say that the founders hazed, I have to laugh, because this was not what the founders of our illustrious organizations were on, not even remotely. Who were the first people to go to colleges? It's not a trick question. Who are they? Yell it out. Men, specifically white men. Yay, white men! First ones on campus. And they want to start these literary societies and organizations outside from the university, and the university said no. And the men were like, what do you mean no? We're going to fight, and we're going to start this in secret, and we're going to create these organizations where men can have an exchange of ideas. So the birth of fraternities came along. Who are the second people allowed on campus? It's not a trick question. Women, good. What kind of women? White women, yay, white women. They were allowed on campus, but we weren't letting 300 white women on, we were letting like 4. And they're like, good luck, 4 white women with all these men on campus. So the women decided to create their own secret organizations where they could exchange ideas and not be ridiculed or be asked why they're even on college campus. Who are the next people who are allowed on campus? Not a trick question, but some of you don't want to answer it. Yay, people who look like me. Brown people, yay! But again, they weren't letting 300 of us on either. They're like, you 2 Negroes, you can come. Have fun. It wasn't exactly the safest environment. And then we decided that, well, clearly they're not letting us into their organization, so maybe we need to create some safe spaces for our own. And that was the birth of fraternities and sororities. These founders did not have time to haze each other. They had serious business to actually attend to, like creating an organization that would provide warmth and safety and solidarity to its brothers and sisters. They had to fight the administration to even be recognized on college campuses. Could you see some of these fraternity and sorority men back in the day be like, yes, young chap, I'm going to lift my petticoat and you will hit me on my rump and then I shall return the favor. Hazing. That's not the way it was going down in the streets. And yet, we today think that whatever the founders came up with, not good enough. The ritual, not good enough. The fight they had to go through to get their organizations established, not good enough. Let's add hazing to the mix to honor their memory. If you think hazing is what our founders wanted, along with risk management and these other concepts that they did not think would ever affect our organization, then you don't get this Greek thing. These men and women want to start something that would help others. They didn't think it would go for hundreds of years. They would never even imagine that even after that long, there would be members among them who would try to destroy it by hazing each other. The next one, new members want to be hazed. New members want to be hazed. Michelle, we don't want to lay our hands on these new members. We don't want to make them drink. We don't want to make them do stuff. But they want this. They come to us like, please, haze us, please. So we just got to give the new members what they want, right? We don't want them to feel ostracized. And wherever would they get such an idea, right? It's not like there are people in society who are paid like lots of money who get hazed on a regular basis and it shows up on ESPN. Like, where would they get such a concept like that, right? It's not like this is totally normalized in other places in society that this is just what happens when you like join a sports team or, I don't know, a baseball team and this is what people are supposed to do to you. But yet it is. There are parts of society that glorify hazing. There are parts of society that says in sports, totally cool, totally legit. Let's put it on our Twitter and our Instagram. There are parts of society that expect us as Greeks to actually engage in this behavior. There are movies made about it, whether it's true or not. So why wouldn't new members think that this is a part of what it means to be our members? 47% of high schoolers experience hazing in some form. So they're coming into college already thinking this is just the way it goes. And while new members want to be a part of what you and I are a part of, and while new members want to share in the beauty that is our fraternity and our sorority, I'm pretty sure what new members don't want is stuff like this. Because here's the reality. Hazing happens on a continuum from the very innocuous to the very egregious. I don't think this is what new members have signed up for. Number 5, our alumni won't support us if we don't haze. Okay, bye. We keep giving way too much deference and credence to alumni members who are not showing up for the good stuff and only for the bad stuff. And they never write a check, do they? They always want to ask you, why aren't you doing the thing with the goats anymore? And you tell them we don't have any more goats. But I hear this complaint all the time. Stop worrying about people who don't worry about you. Because when poop hits the fan, they will not be there. Number 6, we keep things safe and within reason. Sure you do. Sure you do. And there are plenty of people who also thought that they too were keeping things safe within reason, and their mugshots are everywhere. Because people are going to jail and prison for hazing. And maybe you are keeping it safe and within reason, but will you be there when people decide to turn left and do some real crazy stuff? Because while those people were keeping it safe and within reason, there are a bunch of people who are no longer living because they trusted those people to keep them safe. And yet every year, people die from things that could have been prevented. Even most recently, this past year, we lost not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 people from hazing. As Greeks, this is our breaking point. How could this even be a reality in 2017 and 2018 that this is still what we are struggling with? And if this does not actually scare you, let the money scare you. Because right now, the going rate for a hazing lawsuit is around $97 million. Does anyone have that in their back pocket? One day I'm going to do this presentation, like Mark Zuckerberg's daughter is going to be in the audience, and she'd be like, I do. I was like, well, haze on, Zuckerberg, you got it. But for the rest of us, we don't have this. And it's not a price that any of us should be willing to pay. Here are some bonus myths for you before I leave, because these are the common excuses students like to throw at me. So the first one, new members must learn to appreciate the organization. New members will appreciate what you appreciate. No one rises to low standards. Raise the bar. Number 2, we can't do anything fun anymore. Everything is hazing. Nope, just the illegal stuff. Don't do the illegal stuff. Hazing made me a better person. If hazing made you a better person, you probably weren't that great to begin with. And number 4, other groups on campus won't support us if we don't haze. The last time I checked, eagles are not concerned with the opinions of pigeons. Are you an eagle chapter or are you a pigeon chapter? Soon there will be nothing left. There will be nothing left. If we continue to do the things that we're doing, if we continue to have a year like last year, there will be nothing left for fraternity and sorority life. The beautiful thing is that you are the here and now. You and everyone who comes after you has the opportunity and the chance to do better, to try harder, and to tell people this does not belong in our society in our clubs and sports, in our organizations, in our athletic teams, and especially in the values-based organizations that are fraternities and sororities. My hope is that you actually join me in the fight and eliminate this for the future. Thank you.